Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective, going to 5,000 subscribers, September 7th, Texas LSU. Can't wait. So excited that I got two guests with me today. Actually, John's my co-host, but we have a special guest, our buddy Zoey here, who also happens to be a student at UT. Zoey, quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey everyone. Let's get us to 5,000 subscribers by September, don't forget. But my name is Zoey. I'm going to my third year at UT, and I'm an economics major, and I'm here just to talk about our football team, and I'm getting excited for the season.
Awesome. And, you know, with it being college football, right, I think a lot of us sometimes leave the college piece out of it, like there's not students involved. And one of the things
it's not professional sports?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Although we live in Austin, and it is like kind of our pro sports team. But we're actually going to interview Zoey real quick and just talk about student experience. And then we're actually going to break up our scheduling portion of our Texas preview into 4 parts, kind of like a 4 quarters type of thing, where we're going to go through the first 3 games and just highlight some things and talk through the opponents we have coming up. One thing I do want to highlight before we get into Zoey's interview and piece and getting into the schedule, because I'm very excited about it, I want to give a special shout out to Jose Taryn, who just did a gender reveal on Instagram. For those of you who didn't see it, I'll have Jose's IG handle in the comments below. By the way, in the description box, make sure you guys are following on social media. We've been seeing a ramp up on Twitter. Been seeing a ramp up on Facebook. As I say every week, we curate content for these platforms, so make sure you guys are following. But in Jose's case, him and his wife, they had a gender reveal, Colin Johnson announcing that they're having a baby girl. So shout out to Jose. It was awesome. So freaking cool to see, guys. So for those of you who haven't checked that out, and Jose, I'm sending some people your way, man, so get ready. But congratulations. Zoey.
Yes.
Been at UT, I believe, since 2017. Mm-hmm. I know your family, you guys are all Texas fans, and your mom went to Texas, which is awesome. How has the energy changed as the football team's gotten better, just on campus and the buzz amongst the student body?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've only been there when Tom Herman was coach, so I didn't. And I mean, just in the transition between 2 years, because I've only got to see two seasons as a student. Mm-hmm. From my first year we did okay, but I mean,
7 and 6, and it was up and
it wasn't. We weren't the Browns, but it was. it wasn't good. So this past season, I mean, especially with that win against Georgia at the end, I mean, it's just the energy, the amount. I didn't get to go to that game, but the amount of friends I had that went to that game and just how crazy it was.
Oh yeah, New Orleans on New Year's Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I was jealous of a lot of them because that just. I mean, a lot of people didn't expect us to win that, and so just coming into these games, and no matter what, win or lose, the energy in those games and just everyone's tailgates before, things after, just everything.
So with so much to do here in Austin, and that's the biggest thing, is that's why we haven't gotten buy-in for the longest time within the student culture. Mm-hmm. With us being with us having so much going on right now. How is everyone preparing and being excited for the season?
I mean, it just everyone's starting to talk about tailgates already. Everyone buys the big ticket. If you're a student, it gives you passes to every home game, and we start getting emails on that in April. So they start getting us ready for the season way before that. And with all the new construction, that's going to be the new part of the stadium. That's where the students sit. So that's going to add a lot of seating for us. And also they changed it recently. I think last year was the first year they changed it. They used to have assigned, for the freshmen, it was open seating, first come, first serve. But then for the upperclassmen, you would have groups, and you would be
and they have like different wristbands and all sorts of weird,
It'd be all sorts of like hectic stuff that like you can't sit in someone else's seats, but they kind of just made that easier. It's now first come, first serve. Seniors can sit next to freshmen, just you sit wherever you want. So if you want to see the game, you want to be front row, you can be front row.
Absolutely.
You just got to be there and be excited for the game and get there early.
I'm glad that this administration has recognized the importance of that. I feel like for a while they were And we're talking about the Steve Patterson era, right, where it was penny pinching and it was all about the bottom line, but that game day experience suffered. Those of us who would watch the games on TV, it's like, yo, where's our student section? It's the second freaking quarter. And it's and I'm so proud of you guys as a student body, because there's a lot of students that also follow this channel, and I've had, even grad students that have reached out to us. But I'm so proud of you guys for bucking back and saying, no, it was a broken system how this was operating, and again, thanks to Chris Del Conte for coming in, really installing that first come first serve basis, and having the most passionate students there. It makes a huge difference. I know you went to many games last year, and just talk about that experience just from as a student, being there, game day environment, and how it's improved.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, UT, just like y'all said, some people forget it's a college sport because we have so many fans that aren't students. But it really makes a difference, I think, when that student section is engaged and involved.
Absolutely.
Because it really, I think the players can feel it, and I think like everyone is just, when everyone's having a good time and it has that energy, then I feel like it just adds to the whole feel of the stadium.
Absolutely. And the players feel it. And it's crazy because you look around the Big 12 and there's certain environments that people go into and you feel the students. I mean, let's be real, you feel it at Tech. You feel it at OSU.
Right,
think about Stillwater, and they're right on. And
that's
how their stadium's constructed. But to see the improvements in, like I said, the administration and everybody, even Tom Herman, being mindful of that game. Football's a game of inches, right? So every little advantage, any kid that gets rattled because you guys are turned up and consistently bringing the energy. The perception.
Iowa State last year.
Yeah. I mean, we were at the Iowa State game.
He was shook.
He was shook. Well, he was shook. Yeah. But Brock Purdy, we're talking about, he was shook and he ended up getting pulled. But when we everybody brought their cell phones and whatnot, and we were there, that was one of the coolest moments in my life as a UT fan, right? Being present. And so I'm just really happy, students like yourself that are passionate, that are there real time, especially the kids that are undergrad, that can really just push forward that energy that our team needs and help develop this program. So I appreciate that, Zoe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
You guys are a huge part of it, and this isn't anything without the fan base and the student, right?
Yeah.
So going into our schedule part, we're actually going to cover the first 3 games of the season, 12-game schedule.
3 or 4.
3 because I can't do math. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna break this up into a 4-part series of 3 games. Okay. So essentially, Louisiana Tech through Rice, I believe. So we'll save OSU for the next video.
And we'll every week before the game, Sue will also go into great detail on us scouting the team and understanding their philosophy, whether it be defensively or offensively as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And so we got some advanced scouting from our friend Zoe here. Like I said, she's very, very passionate, and started taking a look just ahead at these first 3 opponents. Obviously, we got the big one on September 7th. But before that, 1-0, right? That's what Tom Herman preaches in this program. And I know we have September 7th on here, but we can't have September 7th without success on August 31st. Right? So I'm going to let you kind of intro our first opponent, and then we'll just discuss from there.
Yeah, of course. So Louisiana Tech, our first game, they have their returning quarterback, Jamar Smith. He's been a 3-year starter. He's a pocket passer, but will run on you. They've also got Adrian Hardy, great wide receiver with, I think it was 75 catches. 75 catches last season. Louisiana Tech, they've won 5 consecutive bowl games, so they're a very reputable team. It's not going to be an easy game. We still have to come in like full force. And
well prepared for it, absolutely.
Exactly. And then just their coach, Skip Holtz, is going to be their head coach.
Shout out to Trey Holtz, former holder, Texas Longhorns. My man actually got some snaps too a couple times.
Yeah, of course.
But so Louisiana Tech guys, and as Zoe just mentioned, Jamar Smith, Adrian Hardy. So I think I've mentioned this on a couple times. My brother-in-law played baseball at Louisiana Tech. Jamar Smith actually had a background as a baseball player. He went full-time football. I've actually been to a couple of their games, just visiting my brother-in-law. So I've seen him in action a few times. It seems like he's actually been there forever. But Terry Brash already put that energy out there.
I was about to say that.
You could go into that.
My bullet point was just going to just be Terry Bradshaw. I mean, like that's the bulletin board material. I know we're not going to throw out our full offense, our full defense, but I expect us to win this game easily and then move on to the next game, which is the big game.
Absolutely. I do want to touch on, though, the importance of this game from a standpoint of facing a good veteran quarterback, a guy who did play well at Death Valley last year against LSU, because they actually, I believe they opened against LSU last year, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me in the comments. You always do. And then we also have, and then on top of that, Adrian Hardy, his breakout season last year, the things he was able to do against Greedy Williams and some of the LSU DBs gave him a little bit of fits, right? And
that's our biggest fears, right?
Right, that's going to be game one.
Cornerbacks.
Absolutely,
right now.
Absolutely. Now, from a positive, I have been hearing some good things about Deshaun Jameson making moves. So, as Tom Herman said, I'm looking for 2 corners. So it's job openings for those of you who are not familiar. But
I've been hearing a lot of good things also with Josh
Thompson. That's your boy, man.
Josh Thompson, number 29.
He loves Josh Thompson.
Yeah.
Hey, he was hitting the other day. They put a video out there
so,
on.
I mean, like even I think just our nickel depth is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I feel very comfortable with this team to be able to get a hopefully easy win.
Yeah, absolutely.
First game.
You gonna be there?
Oh, of course.
August 31st?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep,
and if you guys are at the game and you see Zoe, give her a shout out. Tell her for not, show love.
Yeah.
And,
I'll take a selfie with you. Don't be scared.
All right. So what do we got the following week?
I
don't know. What do we have?
I don't know.
It hasn't been talked about at all.
Hopefully that following week we're at 5K. But
if we're not at 5K, I heard Tom said the game might not happen. So of course, September 7th we have LSU. It's gonna be a huge game. I know it's sold out, right?
Oh yeah,
it's been sold out for
everybody. People, the ticket things, and those of you who are season ticket holders, when you start selling tickets to LSU fans.
You need to stop
that.
And $9,000. Come on, guys.
I'm seeing some things going on, and I know people are like, "Well, that'll pay for my trip to the bowl game." If y'all want to get to a serious bowl game, this is all hands on deck. September 7th, in my opinion. Go ahead.
So they're going to an up-tempo offense this year, so we need to be ready for that. They also have returning QB Joe Burrow. Justin Jefferson's moving to slot, and we've got Grant Delpit, 6.
Yeah, he had 6 turnovers last year.
Yeah, 6 forced turnovers.
Yeah. So starting off just with them right off the bat, and I've told y'all before, those wide receivers, again, because of the weaknesses, and I know people are like, why do you keep highlighting the LSU wide receivers? They're good, and they were all highly touted.
Yeah.
If you saw the bowl game against UCF.
And they're big, too.
Yeah, they're big. Sullivan moved to tight end, and he's like 6'7". He's beefed up. They have 2, not 1, but 2 running backs, John Emery, Ty Davis. John Emery was a 5-star recruit right under Trey Sanders, who went to Alabama. He put up somebody on skates in practice the other day. I saw a video on YouTube. I was like, okay. But they're comparing those 2 to Reggie Bush and Lendell White, which I think is like a bit premature. I mean, there you go. You can't without film. You can't really. Yeah, but it's the excitement behind it, right? And I get it. And then they got my boy from Stranger Things, Steve Harrington at quarterback, aka Joe Burrow, who I'm sorry, I'm getting a little pissed that people think that he's the same caliber quarterback that Sam Ehlinger is. So, excuse my energy there, but. It's a game that ESPN right now, FPI, has at 25%. 25%. So I hope Tom Herman is echoing that message. You have a 25% chance of victory at home.
So what's Tom Herman's record? Is Tom Herman's record good against the odds?
Oh, fantastic.
I think he's only lost twice when he was against it, right?
And one of them was like the double overtime USC game.
Yeah. So,
Sam Ellinger's first road game.
And then the another one was the West Virginia game last year. I remember that too because they brought that up. So I mean, I know this team's going to be prepared for this game, being up for this game. If they're not up for this game, it's going to be a long season. I mean, because this is what everyone's been talking about, not only here in Austin but on the national scale.
Yeah.
So this is conference prestige. This is also recruiting. We recruit the same types of people too.
Well, so I'm glad you brought up recruiting. I mean, even going back to Jamal Adams, who we wanted, and they ultimately got him. We won on Caden Stearns. We actually flipped Caden Stearns. Caden Stearns was originally an LSU commit. Flipped him over to Texas. Y'all saw what he did last year. He balled out right as a freshman. So. The head-to-head, they won on Calavion Chason, who we're going to see, and who I really, really wanted in 2017. And he's now going to, he's filling in on that defensive end role in their defense, and he's a guy who, is a freak, athletic freak, 4'5" guy. Again, really, really wanted him in that 2017 class, and I thought we were going to get him. He went to LSU. And this is a battle for Houston in a lot of ways. It's a battle for East Texas. Very fertile recruiting grounds for both of these schools. From a student standpoint, Zoe, so many kids are visiting that weekend from a recruiting standpoint. So that's another reason why we opened the video with just the atmosphere. Kids want to play. You're right.
Yeah, they want to play where there's a good student section.
Regardless of if we win or lose, if it's a good game and the atmosphere is great, it's going to leave a positive impression.
If the recruits have fun,
and
we put up a fight, even if we don't come out with the win, then that's all that matters for the recruits,
Oh, it leaves an impact.
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say is this, because we're not picking the games yet. We'll do our final win-loss prediction after probably a week or two before the season starts when we get out of camp. But my point is this: we have three things going for us in this game. I believe we have the better head coach. No disrespect to Coach O, but I believe Tom Herman's a better football coach, and I think most of America would agree. I believe we have the better quarterback. And the third thing, it's a home game. Typically in football, when you're picking a game, the person with the better coach, and it's at home, and they have the better starting quarterback. And I think there's a couple levels between Joe Burrow and Sam Ellinger. You're typically going to pick that team. I know people are going to bring up LSU's speed and all that SEC energy. But what happened in the Georgia game last year?
Well, we won.
So, I mean, just goes to show, if you have those type of advantages, anything can happen. And I think at home, I like my odds with those three things in my favor. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, if that was at LSU with their crowds and
that's a different story.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Death Valley night game, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm happy to.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a great point because they're lights out at home. They're notorious for and we have to bring that same
dreams come to die. That's what
we have to bring the same energy we brought for USC, the same energy we brought for Notre Dame in 2016. That's what it has to be like for LSU, and I know it will be there. So I don't have any concerns. I know I trolled some of you people that are selling your tickets. I understand, but we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
What we got up after that?
So the week after, September 14th, our first away game. It's the NRG Stadium. We're playing Rice. Their offense last year put up 4,200 yards, averaged about 19 a game. Defense forced 19 turnovers and gave up 36 a game.
Yikes.
And they're coming from their previous week. They play Wake Forest.
Okay,
so they actually have a Power 5 conference team beforehand. One thing I just want out of this game, honestly, is just to get out healthy.
Yeah.
Just beat them with your raw talent. You don't need to do trick plays or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, just go in there, beat them, and then move on to the next game.
A lot of our guys are going to be home for that game, too. Playing in Houston, family members, that's actually going to be a pretty big deal. I think that'll be a pretty fun, short trip for a lot of us from Austin.
Yeah.
And the UT fan base in Houston is insane as it is. Again, like I say, we're a global brand. What do they say at UT? what starts here
changes the world.
The Whataburger.
Yeah, but from a Rice perspective, we'll get into Rice prep as they play. I'm not, there's bigger fish to fry before that, but no opponent should be overlooked. In the week of Rice, it does need to be all hands on deck. And I'm serious because there's going to be an emotional letdown after that. What they've gone through the week before, right? Mm-hmm. So just keep them focused, and that will test. This game is actually important because it will test the maturity of the football team, right? Mm-hmm. If we've turned the corner with that leadership, not having those, and look, Rice, I'd probably right now as a program put where Tulsa was last year, where it was a game where we kind of slept. We essentially walked through the rest of the game, and we're still able to pull it out.
Don't play down to their level.
No.
Yeah,
but you gotta always be an athlete. The whole team.
Yeah, always be an athlete.
Yeah. That's an inside joke. But yeah, so the first 3 games, Louisiana Tech, LSU, Rice. Just wanted to kind of give early scouting report and kind of talk to those things. You guys hit us up in the comments with any concerns you have about the first 3, any things you want to highlight. As John said earlier, going to Louisiana Tech, we will have full prep. Mm-hmm. Going to LSU, as I've told you guys before on the channel, not only will we have full prep, but I also have a good buddy of mine who's an LSU fan on the channel, so we can get opposing fan perspective as much as possible this year. Something I like to do. I know some of y'all push back on it. Really don't care. It's my channel. So, but I really appreciate you guys joining me here today and just talking ball and getting ready for the season. Hopefully you guys can hear the excitement in our voices. I mean, what are we, 22 days?
I don't know. She has
22 days.
22 days, okay.
Zoe has a tracker going on the whiteboard.
She has a little countdown going on.
Yeah, countdown going, 22
That's
days.
my summer job.
Whose day is it, too?
It is Bobby.
Is it Bobby Dane?
Bobby Lane.
Hey! Bobby Lane! Hey! So the UT kickoff against Louisiana Tech. Shout out to Bobby Lane. So, guys, really appreciate it. Those of you who continue to share our content across social media, I want to give a shout out to Dwayne Keaton as well from Wichita, Kansas, who got put onto this channel by his son, and he reached out to me. Yeah, nice. So we got father-son combos out here listening to Fanatic Perspective and just talking UT ball and going through our excitement together. So I appreciate your messages as well. And as we get closer, we'll continue to do some more shout outs. So thank you to you guys for reaching out. Horns always up, guys.